Hi, my name's Carole, and this is Hummingbird Spot. This is the second episode of my second trip to Peru to photograph hummingbirds. If you haven't seen my previous trip episodes, you can click right up there. We flew from Tarapoto to Lima and then on to Cusco, where we were picked up by car and taken out to Ollantaytambo, our next birding destination. Ollantaytambo is at 9,000 feet. I'm glad we spent a couple of days in Huembo at 7,400 feet first, so at least we were a little acclimated to the altitude. We stayed at the beautiful Hotel Pakaritampu. The grounds of this hotel are planted thick with flowers that hummingbirds love. So I got to film 4 new species here, including a Peruvian endemic. Photographing here in the gardens was awesome. You had these beautiful flowers all around you, and when you looked up on the hill, you could see the massive ruins of an Incan city. It's mind-boggling. This hotel was the first place that we had good enough Wi-Fi in Peru to actually send off a Facebook Live. And while we were broadcasting, we saw the giant hummingbird for the first time, and I got to film the hummingbird on some beautiful hibiscus flowers. There he is, on the hibiscus. Oh my God, he is so big. I wouldn't have known that was a hummingbird. Here are some of the pictures I took while we were filming. The giant hummingbird is the largest of all the hummingbirds. It has an impressive wingspan of 8.5 inches or 21 centimeters. And with those large wings, it's even known to glide. And that's an ability not found in other hummingbirds. In fact, when you watch it fly, it looks more like a swift. You can find this hummingbird throughout the eastern and western Andes, from southern Colombia all the way down to Chile and Argentina. A few weeks ago, we put out a slow motion video of the giant hummingbird on some flowers. If you would like to see that video, the link is at the end of this episode. The Bearded Mountaineer is a large hummingbird found only in Peru. This particular male loved the flowers here at the Hotel Pakaritampu, and by the looks of all that pollen on his head, I think he was single-handedly pollinating his favorite food source. Those aren't yellow feathers on top of his head. The female has the same shape as the male, but she lacks all the bright coloring that he has. The green and white hummingbird was thought to be endemic to Peru, but now there have been a number of sightings in Bolivia, so this little guy may be expanding his territory, and that's good for him. The bird is green above and white below, and this guy that we photographed at the hotel, he loved to perch and stretch his tail for us, so he was the perfect little model. The Black-tailed Trainbearer was also here in the gardens. We saw the very similar green-tailed Trainbearer up at Huembo, but this one has an even longer tail with black at its tips, and he has an iridescent green patch at his throat. I noticed that this bird was feeding on the same plants that other birds called flower piercers were sampling. The flower piercers poke a hole in the base of the flowers to get the nectar, and then the Trainbearer would come along and use the same holes to get the nectar once the flower replenished it. So this bird was really shirking his pollination duties, unlike the mountaineer. There were a couple of females here too, and they have shorter tails with white breasts with green dots. A really pretty little bird. We got to see our old friend, the Sparkling Violetear. This species of hummingbird is aggressive, so of course he was always chasing away the Trainbearer I was trying to photograph. But wow, those colors, this bird is really spectacular. You can't help but love them. After we left the hotel, we went into the car and drove across Abra Malaga, the Malaga Pass. This pass goes over the Continental Divide, and this is the way we had to drive to get to our next destination, the Waikecha Biological Station. The road rises up to 10,682 feet, and wouldn't you know it, a hummingbird likes to live up there. While we were at the top, we were looking for the White-tufted Sunbeam. And of course, William Oriana found me a White-tufted Sunbeam. This is one of the highest of the high-altitude hummingbirds. It is endemic to Peru, and it can be found in two distinct populations, this one and another a little further north. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell, because next Sunday we're going to continue our search for more hummingbirds in Peru at the Waikecha Biological Station and the Cock of the Rock Lodge. See you then.